Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Kind of fast forward a little bit. I want to go over some of the final steps that we took to put the engine together on the bracket bike. Today I'm going to replace this old rotten Suzuki master cylinder reservoir. It's about ready to break in half. You can really see it when the engine's running and it's vibrating real bad. We're going to replace that. There's a few other things we need to do to it. We'll get into that. First off, I want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. So stick around. Okay, so first off, we did have the engine all together. I have ran the heat cycles. I kind of skipped ahead. And the reason I do that is because there's a lot of coverage on these videos already. I want to show you guys what I had to do to the rocker boxes with another set over on the bench. Okay, so these guys right here, I'm gonna get something to point with. Here we go. Got an ink pen. All right, so you can see this area right here. Okay, basically you have to grind this flat, you know, to bring it across here to make room for them big high lift springs. And keep in mind that the springs do point outward like this. So what you do to the top of this, you don't necessarily have to do to the bottom of it, okay? The clearance is up here on the top side because the spring angles this way, okay? And another portion that I actually had to do was, let's see, a little bit of this corner right here to make room for that spring retainer, okay? So, and you take your time with this stuff. You guys will figure it out when you have to do these. I did try, I was initially going to put the XB rocker boxes on this bike. You guys remember these with the breathers on them. And what I found was that I couldn't get this back one on without taking the damn engine out of the bike to get it in. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pull the whole damn engine back off the bike just to put a valve cover on it. So the other bike, the 07, it has, you see these are 3-piece. It runs 2-piece deals on it. So I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to run those XB covers on the 07 bike. And I mean, I'll try, I guess. Worst case scenario is I spent that money for nothing. As I mentioned, I'm going to replace this old reservoir here. You can see I'm not sure why that's rotten, but when the engine's running, this thing's bouncing real bad and it's about to break off right here. So I bought a Chinese replacement reservoir. We're going to change that out. Anyway, you get the idea. I'll get that out in a minute. But I need to change that out before that breaks off and dumps brake fluid down the side of my bike. And you all know brake fluid will eat the shit out of some paint. Something else I spotted, the original oil lines down here. This is where it mounts to the frame. This is where you drain your oil. This clamp, this factory clamp right here is somewhat compromised and it's starting to drip a little bit of oil out of it right here. So I'm going to cut that off and replace that with a regular hose clamp. This piece of hose probably needs replaced, but it's pretty stiff. But you got your plastic, I don't know if it's more of a T fitting, because it goes up to the oil tank and it goes over to the fuel pump. So that's your supply, your oil supply from the oil tank, and it's also your drain for the oil tank. So that we got to cut off and replace that with a regular standard hose clamp. So I don't know if we'll get into that today or not, but I got a few loose ends to tie up on this bike, and then we'll get started on some other stuff. So stick around. All right, so I got to find a few little pieces of tools here to take this master cylinder off, cover rather, or reservoir. Yeah, y'all know what I mean. 5/16, 8 millimeters, same difference. Get that broke loose. Make sure that's loose right there. First thing I want to do is get this one ready to go on before I even. This is the okay. This is the I suppose it's a Chinese replacement. Came off Amazon. It wasn't really that expensive. I'm going to try to do this in a really quick manner so I don't leak brake fluid all over the bike while I'm trying to make a change here. Let's see. This little lid securing bracket off here. There it is. Looks like there's a. Nope, that doesn't fall out. Okay. Take the lid off. Well, that's weird. So the lid comes with a little gasket thing, and apparently it comes with a spare. So there's that. I'm going to cover this with some rags real good, and then what I'm basically going to try to do is get this hose off the old one and get it on the new one without dumping fluid all over the place, and then hopefully we can get this thing swapped out without getting into having to bleed the brakes or any silliness like that. So I'm going to put some rags over here, try to catch any brake fluid that comes out of there. Doesn't destroy, eat up anything, paint, body work, any of that other stuff. So I have to get that. See if I can find some needle nose. Here we go. Try and get this little clamp out of the way. I don't even know how badly that hose. And like I said, this stuff is OEM Suzuki parts from a GSXR. So this came with the front end, complete front end I bought on eBay. I don't know if you guys remember back to that video, ouch, where that took place. But I originally bought this front end for the what I was calling a pro comp build bike, and I ended up buying that turbo bike instead, which, as you know, that didn't really pan out that well. So there we go. Get that thing moving a little bit. There we go. Now it's moving. Now what I want to do is take this. I think that has a fixed nut on it. It does not. Okay. I was thinking it had a fixed nut on the back of that bracket, but it absolutely does not. So there's that. All right. So what I want to do is try to get this off, tilt it so it doesn't dump fluid all over the place, and get the new one on there. Probably easier said than done. Let's give her a try. All right. Here's the brand new one. I'm gonna set it right there where I can get a hold of it real quick. And we'll give this a try. Again, I don't want to get brake fluid all over everything, so we'll just, yep, there we go. Got that out of the way. Get that new guy on there. Boom. Look at that. Look at that. Slick. Now, the slick part would be if I didn't have to re-bleed these brakes. That would be the great part. I got to put this nut back behind here. Get this reservoir button down. Put the clamp back on the hose. Yeah, I seem to be missing the nut there somewhat. There we go. All right. Got snugged up. Chances are I'll probably have to have a freaking 10. There it goes. Okay. Nice and snug. And it seemed to me, what is it? Bracket. This must be the mounting bracket for it. Must be another mounting bracket that was originally intended for a Suzuki, which that is the Suzuki, yeah, I'm not sure what that's for, but we'll throw it in the tray of junk that we keep around here for something. All right, I also have the new hose and clamps, which I'm going to use the other one that was already on there. But again, we'll save that for, you never know what you might need. For any of that. Save that stuff. All right. Let's move this clamp over to position. Okay, so now I was kind of excited about this. See if we can get this brake fluid to drain down in that dude right there. I don't know what I got for brake fluid, but damn. Okay. All right, so I have a really bad habit of keeping things around that I may or may not need. But you guys can see there's a crack right there that was developing in that thing because apparently someone had allowed brake fluid to run down, which it don't rot the inside. Why would it rot the outside? I don't know. Maybe it's just weather. But it also had this nice fancy little billet cap, which is pretty heavy. But that's what came with that front end when I bought it. So again, some more stuff I'm just going to hang on to. Okay. So I'm going to use the black plastic one. It's a lot lighter. Okay, so we'll put that on there, and not to mention it just kind of blends in a little bit better than that stupid billet shit that was on there. Really stupid, I guess. If you like it, it ain't stupid, but I don't really care for it. So we'll put this damn retainer bracket back on there. And again, I'm not sure what this was actually there for, other than just a safety, you know, that in keep in mind the old GSXRs were initially designed for road racing, so any of you guys have ever dabbled in that world at all, you'll know that there's another bolt in there. I'd like to keep hold of that in case I need it for something. Can't have too many of those little extra bolts laying around. Any of you guys that have dabbled in the road racing world know that there's a lot of safety wire and stuff on everything to keep it from keep anything from falling off the bike, because obviously it kind of speeds those guys are traveling. They don't want to run over a bolt or anything. So I'm kind of hoping and praying here that my brakes stay up. Yeah, no problem there. Okay, so that was successful. Not a problem. Okay, well, let's go over here and try to fix this oil hose leak. Okay, hopefully you guys can see okay. I'm sure I'm going to get in the way a little bit, but basically, I got to try to undo this clamp. And again, I noticed on my table, on my lift, excuse me, a little bit of oil residue on this thing. Yeah, I gotta be really careful with this because that plastic piece is probably really brittle. So I gotta kind of work on this clamp a little bit, try to get it undone. Nice and easy. God bless it, come on. When you guys ever had to undo them stock Harley clamps, you know how much fun they are. I have to get a different pair of cutters. All right, let's try this. Just kind of twist. There we go. There we go. Good Lord. That thing is on there. Been there since 1997. There it is. All right, so I want to basically put this thing around it. That little hose clamp here. Yeah, let's try to flip it around the other way. Flip it around the other way. See if we can't get that to grab right there. I might have to actually go buy me a longer hose clamp for this thing. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take. So, sit tight for a minute. We'll see if we can find another hose clamp a little bit bigger. I don't know. Okay, so I don't have a clamp. I gotta get clamps. I don't have one quite big enough for that hose. So, as long as I don't start it up or anything, it should be fine until I get some clamps. I also have, I don't know if you guys remember, let's see here, air shifter. Okay, this cylinder right here. Y'all can see the way that the switching valve sticks out the side. It's because the ports are on the side of this thing. Well, through a friend, I found it's a company, Bimba, makes air cylinders for automation and whatnot. And working in the plastics industry, obviously I'm familiar with a lot of that stuff because we use a lot of automation in that industry. It's 90 degrees, puts ports on top so I can move that switching valve out of the way. We're going to go through that when I do get that part. We got to do that. I still haven't decided what I want to do about that hole in the fender back there. I don't know if I want to just pop rivet a piece of aluminum on it or spend 160 bucks for a new fender. I really don't know. But the heat cycles are done on this engine. It's broke in. I need to fix that clamp deal down there. I need to replace this cylinder. Obviously, you've seen we just did the master cylinder reservoir. Generally just trying to make some improvements on this bike for this next season. Things that I saw that I didn't like about it. I think we're in a really good place right now with this one. So we'll revisit this deal when I get the stuff I need to fix, like put that clamp. I mean, hell, you guys don't need to see me put a clamp on, but we're going to change out this air cylinder on the shifter so that I can clock at 90 degrees and get the switching valve out of the way of my foot, and we'll cover all that. But stick around, we've got some new stuff happening on the channel. Something I kind of want to announce, and I'll get into that later in another video. But as always, I want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Throw me a comment. I want to hear from y'all. Thanks. Have a good one.